Welcome back to another session here. The market is really pushing again here with new highs, just really pushing up now. What forced the market to really push? That's a good question. So remember, we might gonna come back to 21,537. That's the current target. We just saw a push of 140 points. This is very volatile. This is very risky. I'm gonna size down today, do more trades, and make it much more clear. Again, we do not want to go against the trend, so on the short term, we might see a push back, okay? We could also see a push up again. So it's very tough just to take a trade and hope for something. And we don't want to do that, right? So what I have prepared for today and the overall plan before I'm going to take any trades or consider taking any trades, I want to see progress above 150. And of course, I want to go with the trend. But again, we could sell back. I'm not going to take a short and hope for something to come back to here. Like, it's not working that way. I know we see some selling pressure here and we see some short-term resistance here at market opening, but yeah, it could easily go up, it could easily go down. It's just very risky right here, especially to go against the trend. Regarding news today, we have some news coming in, but not a lot. Okay. We have news first tomorrow. Again, it's hard to trade in these market conditions, but again, you can also make a fortune, okay, from holding longs if you have progress on the market, okay? So here on the short time frame, we have some selling pressure. We could come back. Again, I could consider going for a light short. But again, why would it just sell off when there's such a strong momentum? Big push here above previous highs. This could act as a strong signal, but again, very risky. We extremely overbought. We should correct ourselves at some point. You could also see the Nasdaq is correcting itself. So I could consider going in for a light short on the DAX. But again, this is not really gonna make me anything, but it's gonna make me some, and it's gonna build up some confidence, and we could do many of these trades, okay? So again, we saw some progress here on the Nasdaq. We saw DAX pushed. I see that this could be a quick scalp, but again, it's very risky, okay? It's not really moving anywhere. This was in the pre-market session, remember that. I might consider taking a long if we can hold. We really have to start selling off really below 800 before I'm gonna consider anything. I'm just looking at the two indexes here. Extremely difficult. I'm pretty confident that after this big push, we're gonna see a reaction back. So I'll go in here for a light long. It's very risky, okay? But it's also a very light position, like extremely light. So it's not really gonna affect my overall balance. I see something in the market that they could push it back. Again, break below here, it could come back to 21,050. It could also come and break below 21,000. In a minute or two, we might see some pushes either up or down. Again, the volume is very low, and yeah, the price action is very bad. The trend is pointing up. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna close around 250 within the next 15 or 20 minutes. We could also sell below, and I could consider moving my stop loss down, and I think I'm gonna do that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm only in with 2, so I can hold this one here to 250, and I can always add once I start seeing progress up. So that's the good thing of being in with light position. You can hold them for longer time frame, and you could trade with the trend. But again, you don't want to be going in heavy here. It could easily come back to here. It could easily push up. You really don't know. So what you're waiting for is just some sort of like confirmation and more orders to come in to confirm the direction that you're going to trade in. So I'm still long. Nothing have changed. We could choose to hold this one here for a little bit longer time frame. So because of this push and we holding quite good, and we don't have any like news coming in, that's simply why I'm holding a long, because we could see a push back to 500 today. I think that's the overall idea, the overall target of this pushing back to 21,500. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to hold it all the way back to that. I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm just saying that why would I, right? So again, in for a lighter position, if it comes up to 250, I make 130 points. It's not bad. It's like 1%. It's a lighter position, just so you know. I can always add to this one here once I see progress and once I see steady confirmation and more green candles, right? So make sure you're on the right side here and make sure you are not going against the trend. So we could act as a new resistance here, and it could dump to 21,050, and then it could stop and it could push back. Again, we do not want to hope. We do not want to try to predict. We want to react. So Nasdaq is quite strong. We could see a stack that's going to come up now and push up. So because of this reaction here, I'm gonna add to the long here. So I'm just adding another 2-1. So I'm adding because we've been showing higher highs and higher lows, okay? Again, it could sell off, it could get rejected. We could start seeing some selling pressure all the way back to here. So the overall risk for this trade here is that it's gonna come back to here, okay? And then it might sell off, or it might bounce up again here. I think I'm just gonna exit this one, the ones I open, very light position. And I can also exit this one here just to do some quick trading and do some scalping, just so we lock in some profits and lower the risk of what the market is gonna do. You can hold this to 250. It's very clean that it's gonna move up. But again, we could have some issues breaking above 200. We don't know yet. But at least I got 2 trades. I followed the direction and managed to make a little bit under 0.4%, better than nothing. Small money. But this is also a test for yourself to build up some trading confidence and to see where the market is going to go. So you can see the price action, and it's very slow. You can see the market is extremely slow, right? It's not really doing anything. Like, I mean, yeah, this push, then it's like very tricky. Like, if this chooses to move down, it's just gonna keep moving down, right? It's not gonna stop. It's just gonna keep selling off, and yeah, until it's gonna consolidate again. So it's not really, it could push, but it's not really that volatile. So yeah, low volume because it's like holiday Easter time, right? But again, you don't want to take a short here and hope for something, right? And that's what I want to teach you. You don't want to hope or predict. You want to react and say, okay, there is no progress really above, then you can add, and then, you know, $80 is better than nothing. And then when I see more progress, then I can maybe go in a little bit more heavier, and I could take it all the way down, right? Or I can even take it all the way up. Again, no really progress above, no really progress below. Again, we do not want to go against the trend. It's pointing up. It's pretty clear that this is this is a strong market in a short time frame. We might see it's going to get rejected here at this line here. So if we keep being below here, it's interesting to do a short and to take it all the way back to here over the longer time frame. Not gonna hold it, but just so we know the direction. I could consider going in for a quick short based on we might get rejected at 200, but again, it's a waste of money just going in and look with hope that it will turn, right? So right now it's really pushing up. But again, it should consolidate and come back. And once it starts coming back, then you will start seeing some selling pressure. I'll take with 10 at 200. So I'll get ready for place that. And then I might exit for 20 points and then might call it a session. Again, super low price action and not really that much progress. Of course, we should hold this one here. But again, it was so light. It was just to lock in some profit. I'll take a light short here. It's very risky. It can go against me. I'll exit this one here at 81. Or you could exit at 75. I know I opened and closed very quick. It was just to do some and to lock in some profit. Again, Nasdaq is pushing. They could push this one here to, again, 500 or even higher. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, it's still coming from 23,500. So there's still, as you can see, more room to the upside. So again, we should be careful going against the trend here, because they can really push it up. But again, we still managed to make some money on this account here. Better than nothing. I'll do another short here. A little risky here. So now I come in too late. Shorting it here around 200 would be great. So the overall idea of shorting around 200 would be great. I could do a little bit heavier, 15. I might consider going for long, but again, if this starts to sell off, it's going to sell off and it's just going to continue. So we cannot be holding anything that's moving against us, then we have to really cut losses, okay? Yeah, then we can just do 10. They could push it above 200 to 250 or even higher. Just don't go against the trend. The trend is pointing up. I know it could sell back, but why would it? So you want to short it at highs, right? But you want to make sure you're shorting it when it's getting rejected. So that was a good setup for a short. Last time it sold from highs to lows of around 80 points. We might gonna see the same here, and it's gonna sell back to 120. But again, it's very unpredictable. Again, if you go in now with 10, there's a 90% chance it's gonna push to 200. You get stopped out or pushing to 250, and you have to move your stop loss. So this trade right here with no progress. There is too much risk compared to what you can make. Like, what can you make back to here? You will exit here, right? Maybe exit here, or you're not going to exit all the way down here because there's no progress. Like, if you hope that it's going to sell off all the way back, you shouldn't be trading. You should be hope and pray. I'm not saying this is not a short. I'm just saying you have to be a little careful here. If it's going to push above here, we could consider going for a long. Again, it could come all the way back to here, okay? And I might consider doing a short. Pushing it back. Again, why would you go short here and hope for it to come back when it could just easily push back, right? So you want to see if it's going to push above 70 and push above 200. Like, it's 50-50, and that's what you shouldn't be trading on. So yes, it was a light position I did, and I did a little bit more heavier one. Again, not heavy, but I still managed to get around maybe 200, so almost nothing, but still 1%. I consider going for a short if we break below 150. But again, it could push up, it could stop here, and they could push it to 19,000. They could really push the market, okay? So just be very careful of not going against the trend. So we are 24 minutes over now, and if you're looking at the first 15 minutes highs and the 15 minutes lows, there's no progress above, so no long. There's no really progress below the first, like, the lows for the first 15-minute bar. There's no progress below here, right? So because there's no progress below here, no short. Because there's no progress really above, no long. But again, I could consider going for long, as I told you. I might consider doing that here at 160. But again, this could be the turning point, so it could sell below and then sell all the way back to here. So just be careful, okay? Price action is extremely bad. If this is gonna be turned out to be a red candle and close below this line, I might take a quick scalp to 180, to 80. Again, very risky. The risk comes from you sizing up here and the market is making a huge push, or there's coming some news, right? So I'm just looking at some stocks here. Okay, I'll go in for a quick long here. It's very risky, okay? I want to see if this could push up and then we can close. I'd like to exit this one here. Let's just exit again here, 65. Quick scalping, but below nothing. We still managed to lock in some profits. Again, it looks like it's weak here. It's not really pushing above. We could see a big push to 250 or 300, but it's not really doing anything, okay? So you want to go in when there's momentum. Right now, right here is like kind of like consolidation. So I think that's it for me. Again, I'll come back to New York session. That's going to be more interesting to me. I don't think they have any holidays. Here there's like a lot of holidays. Like it's not really moving up. It's not really moving down. It's not really doing anything. So for now on, I'll just stay cash and wait for a better time to trade.